everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Millie Mills. Another great edition of Bring It in the House, where we spotlight musicians, entertainers, artists, and leaders. And of course, we have a beautiful leader in the house, entrepreneur, Dallas based professional photographer and videographer, Priscilla De Silva. Wow.
Thank you.
How are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm great. First of all, I always thank my guests for stopping by because I know time is of essence and it's very important. So, for you to take time out to speak with us, we're so thankful. We really appreciate it. Now, Priscilla, you and my daughter, you guys go back a ways. Y'all went to high school together, Carpel High School, correct?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, yeah. So, are you a Dallas native? Were you born there?
Yes. Yes, I was born in Dallas. It's always anticlimactic when someone says, you look different. Like, what is your ethnicity? And I'm like, oh, I'm half Mexican, half Brazilian. And they're always like, oh, what country were you born in? And I'm like, oh, Irving, Texas. Every time. But yeah, Coppell is where I grew up. And that's where your daughter, Ramil. Yes.
Yes. It's probably your parents who may have been born in another country or something.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, Priscilla, you have gotten off to a great start being so young, and you already have your career intact. So was it in high school at Capel High School where you learned that, hey, this is what I want to do. I have an eye for photography, or was it earlier on?
Yeah, so it did start in film school. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say film school, high school. So basically, actually middle school, my dad got me a small handheld camera. It was like a Canon camera, and I started documenting like everything. Like every time my friends hung out, I documented everything. And it was just started as silly videos, and then it turned into like stop motion. Like I would take a bunch of pictures and make it into a video. So just him giving me that camera turned into, like, when I was in high school, my older sister, one of her good friends, was in the film crew, and it made me want to be a part of it. But like looking back, I had no idea like what world I was about to open, because once I joined the film crew in high school, like my whole world, like at that point I was like, this is my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to do with my life. I'm supposed to be a filmmaker. And essentially I fell in love with film. I became a part of a bunch of film projects, and then the high school foundation set me up to go to film school. And so what ended up happening was in film school, I was taking photography classes. So I kind of trying to explain to people, like, film was my first passion. And then photography became like, oh, wow, like I started having so much respect and love and admiration for like, a still image versus like a moving image, and how much more sometimes like you can speak volumes when it's just a still image. And I was using my film career in my photography, and that's kind of how I've ended up being more of like a documentary photographer. Like I really try to capture candid moments, and it's because of my background in film.
Wow, amazing. So we have some pictures here of some of your work, and we also have a couple of video clips to let everybody see how brilliant you are. So I just want to share with the viewers. Here's some of your slides that I was able to.
Oh yeah,
I
love it.
There's Ramil. You did hers.
Yes, I love maternity. Yes, being a photographer in Dallas.
Amazing work.
Yes.
I was really impressed with that right there. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool here. That's that's you holding your camera.
Yes.
That's another picture of Ramil. And that I thought that was just like, wow, this is really, let me remove the banner so people can see those better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's really neat right there. I was like,
thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. It's crazy how much I've gotten into maternity. That is now when people ask me, like, what do you love doing the most? I say maternity.
Maternity is your favorite?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy because I've never been pregnant myself or had kids, but my best
Mhm.
friend has, and I
Mhm.
was really close to her, like, throughout her whole like, she's had 2 kids now, so both her pregnancies, and she's also a doula. So, being close to someone in the maternity world, like, it made me have so much more appreciation and value to it. It really
Yes.
reminds you about, like, the full circle of life and how we were all children at one point, we were all in our mother's belly, and it's something to me that's just so timeless. Like, this is such a, fleeting moment of a woman's life, and I feel so special to document such a rare time. Like, there's so many moms that are like, you try to ask them, like, how was I when I was in your belly, and they don't remember as much as they remember, like, your childhood. It's just such a short, precious time, but of course, when you're in it, it feels like forever.
Eternity. Yeah.
But I
And
just love to document it.
that's great that you're able to capture those moments. That's really beautiful. Yes. So we definitely need more of that and more um, talent like yourself that, have that type eye that can capture that. Yeah. And I was really impressed. This was my favorite right here. But
Yeah.
this was a Mavericks at a Mavericks game.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, an
Okay.
old photo. Um,
Okay.
yeah, but this was just an example of me just, taking pictures when I hang out with my friends.
Yeah, I love the color in that. I know that's Dallas, the American Airlines Center in
Yes.
Dallas, Texas. Yeah,
Yes.
beautiful work, beautiful work. So, do you? This is a redundant question, but I have to ask: do you love what you do?
Yes, I do love what I do. I love what I do so much that it doesn't feel like work. I feel like one of the lucky ones, someone that just happens to love what they do. I don't take it lightly that not a lot of people feel this way. I know
Yes,
that, and it feels, yeah, just like I'm one of the lucky ones, for sure.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so you, excuse me, I have something to throw here. You recognize that it is an honor and a privilege to wake up and be able, career wise, to do what is in your heart, to do and what you set out to do. So that's wonderful because so many of us don't get that opportunity. And
Absolutely.
as the same time you're serving others while you're doing what you love.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a win-win. I feel so
Hmm.
blessed, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
That is beautiful. So you studied at University of Texas at Arlington, correct?
Correct, correct.
Okay.
What was really nice about film school is they kind of force you to take all art fundamentals. So I had to take like a clay making class, an oil painting class, 2D design, 3D design. Um, it basically they're trying to give you just like a framework of all the art fundamentals, and the idea is, if you didn't know you were passionate about something, like, you'll know now. And then also every single class like tied into your like to your major. So like, even though I was a film major and I was taking like oil painting, like, it made me see color in a way I've never seen before. And I think people can recognize like color theory in film really easily. Like, people will be like, "Oh, they're doing red because that means like they're bad or whatever." And but there's color theory in photography too. So I felt like I was really getting like a full circle education, I guess. Like, they were covering all the bases, and it helped narrow like the way I view the world, I guess. Those art.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
thankful.
And then, what is the name of your company
So
that you?
I go by Positive Pre Photos.
Mm-hmm.
I named myself that because I'm kind of abnormally positive, and I try to tell people, like, it's just always been my personality. I've just always been like this, and so Positive Pre has always been my nickname, and so it felt fitting to make it my brand name because, like, that is my brand.
Yeah.
It's not like a facade. I just like, it's just
That's
who
just
I
who
am.
you are. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just who you are. Yes, we have your website right there. Is that it? It's
Yes.
correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Positive
Thank you.
free photos. Yes. And we're going to take a look now at your this is like a reel that I got from your YouTube channel,
Okay.
and it's like an introduction of your work. So
Okay.
Let's everybody stand by so we can see the beautiful work of Priscilla. One moment. I love that. Beautiful work.
Thank
Yes.
you. I need to make a new one. That one's from 2019, so it's time to show the world my progress since then. But I love that video. Thank you for showing that.
Yes, it's very beautiful. How long did it take you guys to put it together?
So that video was actually a compilation of like a bunch of small, separate, different videos. But it's basically like um, when I one of my first jobs out of college was working at this hair salon called the Mermaid Salon, and essentially that's where I worked for a very creative boss. Her name is Katie Rogers, and she challenged me in all the best ways. She challenged me to be better at my craft. You know, it's funny. She hired me as a photographer, and then I want to say like a couple months in, I had to like remind her, like, yeah, I'm a film major too. And she was like, so you can do videos? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay, let's do videos. And I was like, okay. And then it just kind of grew from there. Then she was kind of like, wow, I had no idea that you do photos and videos. And then it was kind of just like every month she kind of challenged me with something else. Like, can we do this? Can we do this? And I really do give her a lot of credit for like starting my career. You know, like obviously I did the work, but she was a really good first boss to have.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Those challenges, that's what pushes us to that next level.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's wonderful. I like hearing those stories and those testimonies, you know. Yeah. So also this is a clip that you shared with me when you sent it to me from your YouTube channel, and I was just so impressed, guys. This is national network quality to you know, these are my views. This is how I feel. Everybody, let's turn your eyes over to the beautiful work of Priscilla De Silva. One moment while we get this going. All right.
What do we need to do for these young kids who are here, who need some certainty in terms of direction?
Progressives are still angry. The deal to end the government shutdown did not include a resolution for DACA recipients.
I think the parties definitely can work together when it comes to DACA, because it's not going to benefit either party for us to lose that program.
When it comes to immigration issues, I think people in this country, no matter what political affiliation they are, want to fix a broken immigration system.
Real people who are dreamers, who are on pins and needles, stress, anxiety over what their future is.
Now, these are young people who study in our schools, they play in our neighborhoods, they're friends with our kids, they pledge allegiance to our flag. They are Americans in their heart, in their minds, in every single way but one, on paper.
We didn't have a decision to come to the United States because we were just little. I was 12 and my brother was 10.
My parents were arguing. At the time we didn't know what the argument was, but when my mom hung up the phone, she said that we were going to the US. We were having economic problems. Things were a little shaky between them, and so he just wanted us to come over with him.
I'm the oldest of 4. I was the only one born in Mexico, and my parents and I just took a long vacation because we're still technically on vacation. We overstayed our visa for 21 years now.
When you're in America, like you're with like Americans, and then you don't feel you're a part of America. And then when you're with the native in your country, like for us it'd be Koreans, when you're with Koreans, you feel like you're not completely fitting in there either. So it's like you're in this like middle ground.
The first time I realized I didn't have social was when I was 12. My mom was recently single. I felt the need to help provide something, right?
One of my high school teachers recommended me to get an intern into this hospital.
I went to different places to like try to find work. I did find a place. They did ask for all my information, some sort of ID, my social security, which I did not know what it was. I was like, oh, okay, just some paperwork that they needed.
He asked me, oh, like all I need is your social security number and all your information.
I thought my mom might know, and she knew what it was. She just knew I didn't have one.
That's when I kind of find out that I'm not eligible to work in the United States.
I was like, so how do you get it? You know, where do you get it? She's like, you can't. You just simply can't.
Describe the moment when you
That was beautiful. Yes.
Oh, thank you for sharing that.
You're very welcome. I know that's a compilation of a lot of clips, whatever. So can you elaborate on how you put that together? How did that come about?
Yes. So in film school, my senior year, everyone has to take a class called narrative film. And that's where you're supposed to make your first like scripted film, where you like get actors and write your own script and make a narrative. But I actually was the only one in my class that pitched to my professor, like, you know, I don't really see myself doing narrative films. I feel way more passionate about documentary, about documentaries. And I basically had to pitch to myself to him that like I should be able to make this for my senior thesis, even though, you know, basically what I saw for my future wasn't what like my classmates. And so basically, being that I have immigrant parents, I've never taken it for granted that I'm born in the United States. You know, growing up as a child, I would go to Mexico and Brazil, and I'd come back home and I'd feel very thankful to be in the United States. I remember, you know, in Mexico, there's no AC, it's cold showers, it's really hot. You can't drink the water from the sink. You got to drink either water bottles or from the water bottle machine or whatever. You know, in Brazil, obviously Brazil is a beautiful place, but as a little girl, I kind of just saw it more for its poverty, which is interesting because you would think like maybe as a child, you'd be like, oh, it's so much prettier here. But for me, I was just kind of like, again, every time I went to Brazil and slept in my grandma's, I got like bitten by a bunch of mosquitoes. They have to sleep with nets around their bed. It's just a different lifestyle. And so I would always come back and try to explain to my friends, like, we are so lucky to live here. And so I've always had this underlying sense of like, people don't understand how lucky we are to be born in the United States, how much easier it is for us as a United States citizen to like travel to other countries. And I noticed that whenever President Obama created DACA, which is Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival. So he made a program for all these kids that basically they were too young when they came and they crossed the border. So in their minds, you could ask them where they were born and they thought it was the United States. Or for some of them, maybe they knew they weren't born in the United States, but they didn't think anything of it. They were like, but I'm an American, you know? And it wasn't until they first, like a lot of these kids, it wasn't until they got their first job that they realized, like they would go to their parents and be like, hey, where's my social? And the parents would be like, yeah, I haven't explained this to you yet, but like you're actually not legal. And it's that's why I wanted to make this film, because when President Obama created this program, he gave all these kids like another option. all of a sudden they went from like, who am I, confused, like, they feel like America's their home. They don't necessarily feel like the country that they're from is their home. And he gave them a way to live life here in America. And it's just a very confusing, taboo subject. A lot of people are, it was a conflict because some people were like, the kids have to face the consequences of what their parents did, right? Because what their parents did was technically illegal. Or do we treat these kids innocently because they didn't know, they were too young, most of them are under 10 years old when they came. And so I guess being in my unique situation of having immigrant parents, but the privilege of being born in the United States, I wanted to tell these people's stories so that people would just understand. And that was the goal of the film. I didn't want to sway anyone. I just wanted to educate. And that was like a really big pivotal moment for me in my career, or like, I guess the beginning, because I guess that film showed me what I was capable of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's, so far, I mean, I would say that's your best work.
Yeah.
Would you say that? Would you say? Yeah.
Yeah. As far as film and video goes, yeah, for sure.
Yes. Yes. It's very heartfelt, and I can see your passion. I can see the passion in your, in your eyes, and I could feel it watching the video, even though I had not spoken to you yet about the film. I could feel your heart in it. I really could.
Yeah.
Could you repeat one thing so that Americans can hear this again? You said we're blessed or fortunate or some way to live here.
Yeah. It's the word I use is privilege. And I know right now, sometimes it could feel that privilege has become like almost like a derogatory slang word. I think some people misinterpret it that way. I think it's just like the word ignorant, right? Like if you call someone ignorant in your tone of voice, it can sound like you're calling them stupid. But at the end of the day, ignorance is not calling someone stupid. It just means they don't know. Have access to information. And unfortunately, that's what happens with a lot of immigrants. Like they're coming here for a better life, but they don't know all of our laws. They don't know everything. To them, they're just escaping to them, just not a safe world. And they want to come to a safe place.
Something better.
Yeah. And I just happen to carry a very unique perspective on the whole topic because I have immigrant parents. So there was a time in my life when I heard people speak about immigrants in a negative light, I was always thinking, but do you like me? I would kind of challenge my friends. I'd be like, well, do you like me? Like, are you glad that we're friends? And they'd be like, yeah, of course. And I'd be like, okay, well, I would never be here if it wasn't for the United States allowing immigrants. I would never be here. I'd be a completely different person if I was born in Mexico or Brazil. And whenever I realized that, it's kind of been my life mission. If I would say if there's something I'm really passionate about besides career, it's like immigration and just kind of educating people on just how hard it is to become a US citizen. People don't know. You don't know unless you know someone. And I guess I'm just that person that's trying to bridge that gap.
That's it. That's it. Exactly. As you can see, I get teary eyes from when you're talking. Yeah, because I don't think sometimes we do look at what you just said, well, if you like me, hey, I wouldn't be here, that was touching because I get it. I really do. I get it.
Most heated topics or just any topic, whether it be like cancer, people don't care until they know someone, I say that about death as well. I think
it has to hit home.
Yes. I'd say another reason why I love documenting is like, well, one, I come from a broken family. And two, I lost a best friend at 21 years old. And it really aged me and matured me. I spoke at my best friend's funeral at 21 years old. And I was forever changed. I looked at the world differently. I kept thinking, everyone's taking everything for granted. Everyone thinks that the life is long. And don't get me wrong, I do love to believe that life is long, life is fruitful, but also life is short and life is fleeting. Yeah, and how I so going back to like why I love maternity so much, you know, I had a client recently that was like, you know, I've seen that you've taken pictures of maternity women without clothes on, like, you know, like their bare belly. She was like, I don't personally want to do that, but I'm just letting you know, you know? And I was so thankful that I've had a long career to be able to say this to her. And basically what I said was, look, I totally respect that. You know, every woman is different. I said, but do you plan on having a lot of children? And she was like, probably like one more. And I said, okay. I said, one day this child in your belly is going to have a name, and this kid can be growing. And there will be a day where you reflect and think, wow, at one point, this baby was just in my belly. Like at one point, there was a beginning to all of this. And I said, we do not have to take pictures of you like showing your belly skin. I said, but if for some reason you change your mind, I just want you to know that we could do it at the end of the session. We could do it for 5 minutes. And only person that'll see this photo is me, you, and your husband. And the reason why I'm telling you this is like these photos are for you. These photos are one day you're going to be gray and you're going to say, wow, my body is incredible. Because I feel that's always how it goes. Women are really hard on themselves. And then like, I know my mom looks at pictures of herself younger and she's like, I wish I wasn't so hard on myself. That's when I looked the best. And I guess I feel that my role is to remind people like, let's document this season in your life because it's temporary and remember it forever, you know. But it's really, I have to handle it with grace, you know, because I have to respect everyone's differences and whatnot. But there's a part of me that's like, your belly's never going to look like this ever again. Like,
ever again. I know.
No, just embrace it. Just embrace it. But of course, everyone has their own like life experiences shaping the way they view themselves, you know? And so I try to be that person that bridges the gap. That's like, let's remember what's important. Let's remember, like, I think the most serendipitous part of my job is that when I give people their photos, that's not the most special part for me. It's like the years later. That's the most special part. It's the, wow, wait, my kid's 5 years old now and you've been documenting them since birth. And wow, like that's when my photos have value. It's when time has passed. And that's what makes my career so special. And whether in photography or video is like, I'm documenting a moment in time forever.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I just want to say congratulations on all your success. I know time is running out, but any announcements or anything you want to share before we start to wrap things up?
Just that I want to let people know that I love being a photographer. I love documenting. I love documenting candid moments. And that in the next year, and actually not even just in the next year, for the rest of my future, I am planning on devoting more time into my documentary passion. And so I just want people to know, to be on the lookout for that I'm going to start honing in and tuning in to that inner voice that's like, you're a storyteller. And so I guess to just be looking for my newest post on when I give more information on that.
Yes, we're going to start seeing more of your work. Yes. Guys, remember her name. Priscilla De Silva. She's Dallas-based professional photographer, videographer. She's super talented. Here are some of her, if you want to follow her on social media, I got the scoop here for you. There she is on Instagram. And that's her website. You might want to notate that. Yes. Okay. All right. Also, here's Facebook. That's her Facebook page. Okay.
Perfect.
And then here's, I was trying to do your YouTube.
Yes.
I see YouTube channel. I mean, this is a young lady that's on the rise. I won't be surprised years down the road if you receive an Academy Award for your work, for production work. I'm serious. I would not be surprised. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so thankful to have the beautiful, talented entrepreneur, videographer, photographer, Priscilla De Silva with us. Thank you so much for coming And we love you. We just pray that you continue to have more success with your career. And thanks so much for stopping by. And we thank everyone for tuning in. Thanks so much for tuning in to Bring It in the House. Have a wonderful day.